We often find ourselves in situations where we give without expecting anything in return. But the universe works in mysterious ways, and whatever you give, be it kindness, help, or love, will eventually find its way back to you. In today's story, we will learn a timeless lesson about the power of selflessness and how even the smallest acts of compassion can change our lives in ways we could never imagine. So, hello and welcome to Way to Enlightenment, where we share inspirational stories that guide us to become the best version of ourselves. Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a wealthy king who was known far and wide for his generosity. The king had a close companion, his wise minister, who was revered not just for his wisdom, but also for his deep understanding of the ways of life. One day, the king and his minister were taking their daily walk through the marketplace, observing the lives of their subjects. As they strolled, they noticed an old Brahmin sitting under a tree, begging for food and money. His clothes were torn, and he looked very sad. The king felt sorry for him and asked, "Old man, why are you begging? What happened to you?" The Brahmin sighed and replied, "Your Majesty, I was once a man of means, but fate has been cruel. My wealth is gone, my family has left me, and I am left with nothing but this begging bowl. I sit here each day, hoping for the kindness of strangers to help me survive." The king, his heart filled with compassion, reached into his robes and pulled out a bag filled with gold coins. "Take this," he said, handing it to the Brahmin. "May this gold bring you the better days." The Brahmin was overjoyed and said, "Thank you, Your Majesty. May the God bless you for your kindness." He hurried home thinking his luck had changed. But as he walked through the forest, a thief saw the gold and robbed him. The Brahmin was left with nothing and cursed his bad luck. The next morning, with no other option, the Brahmin returned to his begging spot under the tree. As he sat there, the king and his minister passed by once again. The king, recognizing the Brahmin, was surprised to see him still begging. "What happened to the gold I gave you?" he asked. With tears in his eyes, the Brahmin recounted the story of the theft. The king, feeling a deep sense of pity, decided to help him again. This time, he handed the Brahmin a big, sparkling diamond. "This will surely help you," the king said. The Brahmin, overwhelmed with gratitude, took the diamond home and thought, "I must keep this safe." He found an old pot that had been unused for years. He carefully placed the diamond inside and hid the pot in a corner of his house, hoping it would be safe there. The next morning, before the Brahmin woke up, his wife went to the river to fetch water. As she returned, her foot slipped on a wet stone and her pot shattered into pieces. Frustrated, she remembered the old pot lying unused at home. She retrieved it and went back to the river. But as she dipped the pot into the water, the diamond fell out and was carried away by the current. When she returned home, the Brahmin discovered what had happened. His heart sank. Once again, he had lost everything. Desperate, the Brahmin went out to beg again. As he wandered the streets, the king and his minister saw him once more. The king, now confused, asked, "What happened this time?" The Brahmin explained how he had lost the diamond. The king, feeling hopeless, turned to the wise minister and said, "It seems this man is not meant to be blessed. No matter what I give him, he loses it all." The wise minister thought for a moment and then gave the Brahmin 2 small pennies. "Take these," the minister said, "and let's see what happens." The Brahmin, though grateful, couldn't help but feel discouraged. 2 pennies? How can this possibly help me? But he accepted the coins and continued on his way. As he walked home, still cursing his fate, the Brahmin came across a fisherman who had just caught a fish. The fish was gasping for air, and the Brahmin felt sorry for it. He thought, "These 2 pennies won't buy me much, but maybe I can at least save this fish's life." He gave the fisherman the 2 pennies and took the fish, intending to release it back into the river. But as he held the fish, he noticed something stuck in its mouth. He gently removed it and was shocked to find it was the same diamond he had lost in the river. The Brahmin was overjoyed and shouted, "Look what I found! Look what I found!" At that very moment, the The thief who had stolen the gold coins was passing by. Hearing the Brahmin's excited cries, the thief panicked. "He must recognize me. He'll report me to the king, and I'll be executed." Desperate to avoid punishment, the thief rushed to the Brahmin, begging for forgiveness. "Please forgive me. Here, take back all the gold I stole from you." The Brahmin, now holding both the diamond and the gold coins, was overwhelmed with gratitude. He couldn't believe his change in fortune. With a heart full of joy, he returned to the king and his minister to share the incredible turn of events. The king, still confused, asked the wise minister, "How is it that my gold and diamond couldn't help him, but your 2 pennies did?" The wise minister, smiling gently, replied, "When the Brahmin had the gold and diamonds, his thoughts were only of himself, his needs, his desires. But when he was left with only 2 pennies, he chose to think of another's suffering instead of his own. In that selfless act, he unknowingly aligned himself with the divine order of the universe. When you put the needs of others before your own, the universe ensures that your needs are also taken care of." This story teaches us that true kindness comes from thinking of others before ourselves. It's not about how much we give, but about the love and compassion behind our actions. When we give selflessly, life finds a way to reward us in ways beyond our imagination. Remember, whatever you give will come back to you, often in ways you never expected. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video. Share it with others so that they can also get inspiration. Also, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss any future updates of our video. Let's continue to spread kindness and positivity together. I see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.